Welcome. My name is Leonard Evans, and I'm your virtual dad. And what a delight. You are so in for just a journey that you'll never forget. It's going to affect you for all eternity, and it starts today. If you don't already know Jesus, of course, when we gave our hearts to Jesus, in that moment we begin to live in eternity. Of course, with limits, because we're still here. Of course, when we go to be with Jesus for all eternity, then we just continue living only without limits. But for today, I just want to encourage you that as we're on this journey, the second week of our journey, for conditioning for this journey, just building spiritual roots, spiritual disciplines, and of course, a lot of practicals. And so you get to enjoy this journey with us. You can do this. I know you can. It's really just amazing. And every day we pass up so many practicals. And so if you're joining us for the first time, you're in for a real treat and a real, how should I say? It's just like, it's a great adventure. We've never been here before, perhaps. But today, being in the first day of this second week of our journey to our time together, I want to talk about taking time or prioritizing your life. You and I probably have a million things that we're doing, in the sense of just so many things, right? But I often said, we can spread our lives like mayonnaise or like peanut butter. Now think about it. When you're doing a sandwich with mayonnaise, it goes on pretty thin, okay? Or you use peanut butter, of course you want it pretty thick. You kind of want to sink your teeth in it just a wee bit. And so our lives are like that. We can be spread doing 1,000 things and effective in none of them because we're spread it so thin. Or we can be concentrated and focus on this one or two things and spread like peanut butter. That's the difference. So how would you like to be spread? Or how are you spread even now? You may have to just go back. I live in an area, in a region of the country where there's horses and buggies, and so they got blinders on their face there to kind of help keep them focused. And you and I probably need some of those, just to stay focused on what God is wanting to do with us. So there's some conditioning. And one of those things is, like I say, is setting priorities in place. What are you passionate about? You'd probably be good about 5 or 10 things or more, but what are you really passionate about? So in this day one, we want to talk about what stirs you, what gets your attention. Like I said, we are not capable of doing many, many, many things. But really, what is it that God says that you're really, really good at? Those are some questions. Perhaps you're a believer, you've known Jesus for a number of weeks, months, or years. You're involved in your local church or in a local mission or in a local center in your community, like the rescue mission or the food bank or helping the homeless. I mean, we don't have to go far. Those are definitely areas that there's a lot of help needed. And so with that then, as you may be a youth pastor. We don't know. You may be undercover for the kingdom of God's sake. But regardless, if you put yourself in those positions of volunteering, even at the Boys and Girls Club, there are many organizations in your community that if you're not certain really what you're real passionate about, what really stirs you, what really pulls a chord in your heart, as it were, I would encourage you to go volunteer for a weekend or for a week or for a month at some of these places and see how the Spirit of God will just tug on you and says, yeah, this is good. I remember when I lived in Washington State, I would volunteer at the rescue mission. Loved it. It was like, wow, can I do this forever? It was just too cool. Now granted, a lot of those people, they know the system and they're playing the system. But many of those people thinking, how did I get here? How did I end up here? And so I would make mental note of them and go try to find them in the crowd and talk to them and hear their story. But you might be amazed. So you could even go volunteer at a center, at your rescue mission, at a Boys and Girls Club and really feel and see and hear the heartbeat of God right there, live, 101. Those are some things that you can do. And I would encourage you, Google it even now, because you're probably good at this. So Google the rescue mission as we speak, and you'll be amazed the fact that that's run by volunteers, and especially on the weekends. I knew in the city where I was in Tacoma there, the local churches took part on a Friday night and Saturday and Sunday and fed the community. We're talking about 250 to 300 people in about 2 hours time frame. So if you did that, and I would encourage you to pursue an avenue where you could serve, where you can reach out, where you can give instead of taking, where you can cry instead of laughing with the people as you see them. Your heart will be touched, I guarantee you. You will be forever changed. And you'll ask yourself, why didn't I do this sooner? You know, where am I at? And so it's not too late, beloved. There are people waiting to see your smile, to see your heart of serving, to hear what your story and where you've come from and why did you come to serve today. So there's people waiting to hear what you can, to hear your story and how you got involved and why you came to be with us today. It's always amazing. I've never ceased to be amazed when I've sit at the table and eat with these people and hear, how'd you end up here? Not that it's a bad place, but there's always a story. There's always a reason why and how people get to where they end up. So that would be one thing that you can do. And I would challenge you to pursue that even this afternoon or wherever this may find you, or whatever time of day it may be where you're at. That you would begin to ask, God, how can I make a difference in my community? Is there a homeless bunch? Is there a rescue mission? Is there a Boys and Girls Club? Is there Is there a food bank? Is there a homeless shelter? I know we have rescue missions. We have we have all kinds of shelters like Salvation Army. What would be in your community that you could really invest? So, make some changes. You can start today. You can start right now. If you'll do that, your life will be forever changed. You'll be all the more grateful and thankful, and you'll see that others really appreciate just your presence. You may not even speak the language, but they know that you care. So go express just how much you care in the midst of this generation. Blessings to you.